Do you think there'll be some like crazy big moves this year, business-wise? Like somebody like Google or Apple acquiring Anthropic or something like this?
Dario will never sell, but we are starting to see some types of consolidation with like Grok for $20 billion and Scale AI for almost 30 billion and countless other deals like this that they're structured in a way that is actually detrimental to the Silicon Valley ecosystem, which is this sort of licensing deal where not everybody gets brought along rather than a full acquisition that benefits the rank and file employee by getting their stock vested. Like that's a big issue for Silicon Valley culture to address because the startup ecosystem is the lifeblood where if you join a startup, even if it's not that successful, your startup very well might get acquired on a cheap premium of it and you'll get paid out for this equity. And these licensing deals are essentially taking the top talent a lot of the times. I think the deal for Grok to NVIDIA is rumored to be better to the employees, but it is still this antitrust avoiding thing. But I think that this trend of consolidation will continue. Me and many smart people I respect have been expecting consolidation to have happened sooner, but it seems like some of these things are starting to turn, but at the same time, you have companies raising ridiculous amounts of money for reasons that you don't like. I'm like, I don't know why you're taking that money. So it's maybe like mixed this year, but some consolidation pressure is starting.
What kind of surprising consolidation do you think we'll see? So saying Anthropic is a never. I mean, Grok is a big one. Grok with a Q, by the way.
Yeah. There's just a lot of startups and there's a very high premium on AI startups. So there's a lot of there could be a lot of
stuff, yeah.
10 billion range acquisitions, which is a really big acquisition for a startup that was maybe founded a year ago. I think Manus AI, from this company that's based in Singapore that Meta founded, was founded 8 months ago and then had a $2 billion exit. And I think that there will be some other big, like many billion-dollar acquisitions, like
Perplexity,
yeah,
right?
people rumored them to Apple. I think there's a lot of pressure and liquidity in AI. There's pressure on big companies to have outcomes, and I would guess that a big acquisition gives people leeway to then tell the next chapter of that story.
I mean, yeah, there's I guess Cursor. We've been talking about code. Somebody acquires Cursor.
They're in such a good position by having so much user data.
Yeah.
And we talked about continual learning and stuff. They had one of the most interesting, 2 sentences in a blog post, which is that they had their new composer model, which was a fine tune of one of these large mixture of expert models from China. You can know that by asking gossip or because the model sometimes responds in Chinese, which none of the American models do. And they had a blog post where they're like, we're updating the model weights every 90 minutes based on real world feedback from people using it, which is like the closest thing to real world RL happening on a model. And it's just like in one of their blog posts,
That's
which
incredible.
is super cool.
And by the way, I say I use Composer a lot because one of the benefits it has is it's fast.
I need to try it because everybody says this.
And there'll be some IPOs potentially. You think Anthropic, OpenAI, XAI?
They can all raise so much money so easily that they don't feel a need to, so long as fundraising is easy, they're not going to IPO because public markets apply pressure. Yeah. I think we're seeing in China that the ecosystem's a little different with both Minimax and Z.AI applying for filing IPO paperwork, which will be interesting to see how the Chinese market reacts. I actually would guess that it's going to be similarly hypey to the US, so long as all this is going and not based on the realities that they're both losing a ton of money. I wish more of the American gigantic AI startups were public because it would be very interesting to see how they're spending their money and have more insight. And also just to give people access to investing in these, because I think that they're some of the most formative, they're the companies of the era. And the tradition is now for so many of the big startups in the US to not go public. It's like we're still waiting for Stripe and the IPO, but Databricks definitely didn't. They raised a Series G or something. And I just feel like it's a kind of a weird equilibrium for the market, whereas I would like to see these companies go public and evolve in that way that a company can.